Phase 7 has shown that the people at the local community are now aware of what the ICPC is doing, and they are now demanding for accountability from their leaders.
The last quarter of 2024 witnessed remarkable achievements by the ICPC. One of such is the Constituency and Executive Project Tracking Exercise, its initiative that has brought developmental democratic dividends to the people. Over the years, there has been increased complaints by citizens regarding shoddy completion, non-completion, or outright non-execution of zonal intervention projects, otherwise known as constituency projects, in their localities, despite huge budgetary releases by the federal government. Following these complaints, the Section 6, Subsection B of its enabling law, ICPC, embarked on the tracking of these projects since 2019 in phases. Today's edition of the program is on the 7th phase in the series of continuous tracking and investigation of public-funded projects by the Commission. Welcome to Transparency Files, a production of the Public Enlightenment and Education Department of ICPC. My name is Murna Barnabas Atiai. Arising from the gains garnered in the project tracking and successes recorded in previous exercises, ICPC embarked on the 7th phase of the tracking. A total of 1,500 projects worth 610 billion naira were tracked. In today's edition, we shall be examining the impact of the exercise on the communities and states where the projects were cited. But first, we take highlight of anti-corruption efforts the Commission has made. Ruth Awodi is our guide.
Welcome to this segment on anti-corruption stories. I am Ruth Awodi. ICPC has arraigned Mr. Babakudu Mohammed for allegedly forging a Bachelor's of Science degree in Economics from the University of Abuja and a National Youth Service Corps NYSC exemption certificate. Mr. Mohammed was presented before Honorable Justice A.Y. Shafa of the Federal Capital Territory High Court 45, sitting in Nyanya, on a 4-count charge of forgery. The ICPC accused him of presenting the alleged forged certificates to the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, NIPC, to secure employment with the agency. Mr. Mohammed pleaded not guilty to all the charges. The prosecution counsel, Mr. Hamza Sani, informed the court that they were prepared to proceed as he had 2 witnesses present to support the case. Counsel for the defendant, Mr. M.E. Abubakar, applied for bail on behalf of Mr. Mohammed, which the prosecution counsel did not oppose. The court granted bail under specified conditions, and the case has been adjourned for the commencement of hearing. In another development, the chairman of ICPC, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu, SAN, has revealed that the commission recovered over 20 billion naira siphoned through fraudulent ghost workers' pension schemes in 2024. Dr. Aliyu explained that the commission uncovered the fraudulent insertion of workers in some ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, as part of its preventive activities. The ICPC chairman made this disclosure during the editors' breakfast meeting with ICPC chairman, an interactive session organized by ICPC for media executives in Abuja. He emphasized that the fight against corruption cannot be waged by anti-graft agencies alone, stressing the need for collective efforts to drive national progress.
Over the years, ICPC has adopted a strategic communication approach in order to engage with the media. When we look at the provisions of Section 36 of the Constitution and Section 27 of the Law Practices and Other Offences Act, they are clear that suspects need to be given fair hearing and their rights of presumption of innocence must be protected. That there are certain information Based on the ICPC Act, you cannot divulge until you have taken the suspect to the court. We want to assure you that we will continue to be diligent and also to listen to you. If there are information you want, we will give it to you. In 2024, we recovered over 20 billion ghost workers' pension, whereby we are able to track and recover this amount of money, and also we identify people that are inserting ghost workers in the system. We even discovered that somebody put his wife, his son, his in-law in the game. This 15-year-old boy, we arrested him while he was inside a hole riding his bike. So these are all the challenges that we are trying to see that we tackle, and so that we don't allow this thing to happen.
The ICPC chairman noted that the commission is not seeking public validation, but rather remains focused on delivering measurable results based on its Strategic Action Plan 2024 to 2028. Recognizing the media as a vital stakeholder in the anti-corruption fight, Dr. Liu urged journalists to work closely with ICPC to enhance public awareness and amplify the Commission's programs. In his opening remarks, Professor Sule Yao Sule, FNIPR, a lecturer in strategic communication and public relations at Bayero University, Kano, and Vice President of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, commended ICPC for the initiative and stressed the need for his colleagues to support the Commission's mission by reporting credible and timely information. That will be all on this segment. Transparency Files continues with Murna. Stay with us.
Guy, this our rep member. He did try. This is the third borehole he's constructing with his own money.
No be small thing, no. Honorable Kashkal is the real Odogo. Plus, he is very generous.
Uncle, I don't think it's his money he's spending. ICPC came to our school to sensitize us on many of their initiatives, including constituency and executive project tracking.
Will you shut up? What does a small boy like you know about politics and money?
Haba, at least listen to him before silencing him. He was not rude to you now. Go on, my boy.
The ICPC officers gave us a smart number to call if we have questions about constituency project. It's 0800 call ICPC, and it's free.
Okay, let's try it. The number probably won't even go through itself. 0800 22 55 42 72.
Hello, you have reached the ICPC toll-free number. My name is Ola. How may I help you?
Hello, my name is Remy from Small London local government area. Can you tell me anything about the constituency projects allocated to this area?
Thank you for calling, Miss Remy. Just a second, please. 121 million naira was allocated by the federal government to your local governments for 10 boreholes, drainage systems along 2 major roads, 50 motorcycles, 100 sewing machines, and other equipment as part of an empowerment scheme. If you suspect any foul play, kindly submit a petition to info@icpc.gov.ng.
Ignorance is not an excuse. Thanks to this boy, we now know better. I will inform the community head so we can monitor projects properly. It's our constituency and our projects.
The toll-free number of ICPC is 0800 call ICPC. That is 0800 2255 4272 and the short code 4272. This message is brought to you by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission.
You're watching Transparency Files. The 7th phase of the exercise commenced in November 2024 in 22 states across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. 1,500 projects were tracked, which cut across health, education, agriculture, empowerment, road infrastructure, water resources, and power sectors. The projects were valued at 610 billion naira. Transparency Files team were on ground to provide you with real-life impact from communities and areas where the tracking exercise was conducted.
As consultant, we have a responsibility, a dual responsibility, both to the contractor and to the client. And of course, each contract is peculiar in nature, and of course, we also handle that with its own peculiar nature. This particular one, yes, we are faced with some challenges which is expected in engineering practice. But as consultant, we are responsible, and we are going to be responsible enough to make sure we deliver our obligation.
It was a very good thing working with the host community, because in most places where we go to work, the host community don't normally welcome us like the way these guys did. The support was very, very good. We actually started the job very well and ended it with a very good support from the community. We didn't have any cause to report to anybody that they've been doing this or doing that. Gave us their full support and make sure that anybody that was going to give us headache in terms of construction was actually ruled out on.
Gaskiya wannan hanya a lokacin da ba a yi shi ba muna tare da matsalolin security da sauransu. Amma yanzu gaskiya samun wannan hanya alhamdulillah gaskiya mun ji daɗi.
Virtually all the projects have started before I came in. But I think the execution was done according to the plan, and I have looked at the documents, and I also took personal visits to some of the projects. Some of the projects include the 500-seater hall, if I'm not making a mistake. There's also the student hostel, and they are all projects that we met on ground, and all of them are currently being used.
The federal government is saying to da fún wa. Inú wa sì dùn. Inú àwọn náà sẹ́ndì ẹ̀ sí à inú tí wọ́n ṣe dá. Ó rẹ̀ tán gbàtọ̀ parí. Ó tàn àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tẹ́ ìṣiṣẹ́ náà ṣiṣẹ́ tó dáa. Kò dà síbẹ̀. Ó rẹ̀ tán tó wà lálẹ́ àtọ̀ lálẹ́. Yóò tàn lálẹ́. Àtọ̀ lálẹ́. Yóò tàn lálẹ́. Ìtọ́ wa kò sí náà. Ó fi pẹ̀lú gbọ́lọ̀.
I thank God. That was nobody knew you people are coming here today. I just come down and I had the telephone. So you help me thank God that I could reach this stage, finishing that I've finished, I can say. Thank God for it. It might not be like that in some other sites. I don't know. The inflation is 3-4 times what we envisaged going to happen at the time we are giving the award of this contract. That's all I can tell you, Nick. That's the major problem. My bitter experience of this job, that is it.
One of the things that I always think about our country is this thing about monitoring and evaluation and feedback mechanism to ensure that there is value for money and that the funds are used for the purposes for which they are meant. And not just for the purposes, but of very good quality too. So, I'm very happy that this is happening at this time, so that you can be sure that funds have been used properly for what they are meant to be used for. Putting this kind of effort in place, we create a better impression of our nation as a place where things are done properly, and that a place where we ensure that there is value for money in all that we do. It's also about ensuring that institutions function as they should function. Because if the funds have been allocated and the funds have been used properly, it means that the institution for which these facilities that are supposed to be procured or installed will also be able to function properly.
I've been tracking constituency and executive project tracking of Osun State for the past 4 to 5 years. But I can say this year one is impressive. It's substantial. The level of work done is substantial.
is Transparency Files. Previous tracking exercises by ICPC did not only generate interests from the public who expressed shock at the brazenness with which their representatives misappropriate funds meant for their well-being. It also created awareness on the need for citizens to demand for transparency and accountability from public office holders. What then is new in this exercise? Mr. Jimoh Sulahiman of CPTI explains.
I'm happy to report to you, or to report to the general public, that the impact has been positive. Unlike the previous phases of tracking, phase 7 has shown that the people at the local community are now aware of what the ICPC is doing, and they are now demanding for accountability from their leaders. That is one aspect. The other aspect is that even the MDAs that execute this project, they are also now aware that ICPC is following up, and they try as much as possible to see that those projects are well executed. We have also seen reasons why National Assembly members, those who also initiate part of this project, are coming to ICPC to report contractors that have not performed excellently well. And from what we have been able to do, they are also now commending ICPC that, okay, they are writing letters to us that we have compelled contractors to come back to their locality to come and execute projects that have long been abandoned. That is one. The general impact is that out of 1,500 projects that we track, in the analysis we are just doing, we can boldly say that 86.6% of those projects are well executed. So very beautiful impact. But the most beautiful impact to me is that the awareness of the public and the demand for accountability on the part of leaders, on the part of executing agencies. Going forward, we still want the cooperation of the general public. We want them to report as agencies, as contractors come to their locality. If they see that a project is not well executed, they can quickly involve ICPC, and will be there in no time to see that those projects, those government-funded projects, are well executed. Ours is to see that there's good governance, there's transparency and accountability, and definitely that is what ICPC is doing. Go back to sites, those contractors that have long abandoned projects, go back to site and complete those projects. Those projects that probably could not be completed again, we force or we compel the contractors to pay back the money to government coffers. Definitely, we want the public to cooperate with us. We want the public to see that ICPC is doing well for them, and we want their cooperation.
Thank you for joining us on this segment. Many young people are fighting corruption and making a difference. We celebrate you all. Today we give you a few tips on what to do to get involved.
I am a Nigerian, a highly cultured race. My culture abhors corruption, and with my integrity, a new Nigeria is possible. I say no to corruption today to build a future for my children. Join me and imbibe the culture of integrity to build a Nigeria of our dreams.
And before we wrap up this edition of Transparency Files, let's bring you update on activities in ICPC state offices.
A report from Ondo State revealed that the Resident Anti-Corruption Commissioner, Mr. Tiku Andrew Menge, led a team to pay a courtesy visit to the Ondo Ekiti Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service to seek collaboration focused on enhancing mechanisms to combat trade-related corruption, secure revenue streams, and strengthen integrity. The delegation was received by Comptroller Morenikeji Oluyemi Bewaji, who affirmed commitments to transparency and intelligence sharing to curtail corrupt practices in cross-border transactions. Coming from Sokoto State, the Resident Anti-Corruption Commissioner, Mr. Shintema Binga, has sworn in and inducted new Student Anti-Corruption Club executives at Yahya Abdulkarim Government Girls' Day Secondary School. The RAC, represented by Mr. Abdullahi Ibrahim Aliu, emphasized the club's role in promoting integrity and ethical leadership among students. The school's principal commended ICPC's efforts in fostering moral discipline and instilling values of honesty and accountability among students. Coming from Akwa Ibom State, Mrs. Hope Wobo of Public Enlightenment and Education Department has sensitized members of the NYSC Anti-Corruption Community Development Service on the mandate of the Commission. She encouraged the members to uphold patriotism and honesty as a modality in enhancing the mandate of the ICPC and to push the fight against corruption forward. Coming from Katsina State, the Katsina State Office of the Commission reconstituted Student Anti-Corruption Club of Zainab Memorial Academy, Katsina, in continuation of ICPC's efforts to enlighten and educating school-age children against corruption and examination malpractices. The students were also encouraged to shun corruption and to display, among others, honesty, integrity, discipline, and to be role models among their colleagues while in the school and their respective homes.
Remarkable procedural and process improvement has been recorded. Also, higher percentage of projects completed and executed to specification and significant reduction in the number of infractions. More vigorous enforcement activities, including but not limited to prosecution for infractions, recoveries, assets confiscation and forfeiture, shall also be applied for defaulters. That's our package on today's edition. Remember, you can make inquiries and suggestions via our toll-free numbers as shown on the screen. I am Murna Barnabas Atiayi saying bye for now.